What's going up, guys? It's your boy, Dylan Russo, here back with another Dysfunctional Junction podcast. Actually, not another. This is the first one I'll ever be doing. I'm here with my brother, Ethan.
Hello.
Yep. So today, we're going to be talking about the life of a gamer. I decided to interview Ethan, mainly because he's my only candidate, simply because I can't see anyone else. So, how many hours of video games would you say that you play a week, Ethan?
A week? Well, I probably play about 4 hours a day, which adds up to a total of about 28 hours a week.
28 hours a week? Yeah, I'd say I probably play about 4 hours a day, too. Do you play more in the morning or at night? I'd say we play at night, right?
Only at night.
Only at night?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Yes.
During the day was kind of a pre-quarantine thing. I think now that it's quarantine.
Pre-quarantine thing.
Yeah. Now we save it for at night, really. And what are some of your favorite games, if you have like a top 5, maybe?
Top 5?
I think
Skyrim is definitely up there.
Skyrim.
Overwatch.
Yep. Even though you just started playing it?
Oh, dude, I love it.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Borderlands 2.
Great game.
Minecraft.
Yep. Always peaceful.
And Halo Reach.
And
Those
Halo
are my
Reach.
top 5, like, nostalgic.
Yeah, like a nostalgia list. Yeah, those are really what we used to play when we were younger. We used to go over to our friend Jonathan's house and play.
He would come to our house.
Or he'd come over to our house and we'd kind of do games like Minecraft or Halo Reach where it had some sort of a building creative aspect and play that with each other. So I have a question that really pertains to video games that a lot of people speculate about. Where do you stand on video games causing violence?
I believe there's no correlation, and science studies and a lot of research backs me up on that.
Yeah, I have to agree. I think that the video games, we grew up on violent video games, Modern Warfare, the Call of Duty series, and our parents didn't let us get GTA at a young age, but Call of Duty was pretty graphic. You're shooting and killing people, soldiers, and I'd like to think that we turned out okay, and any violence isn't from, I'm like, oh, I'm a soldier, it really didn't.
Well, yeah, it's like, if you're saying, all the people who played Pac-Man when it came out would be fat now, because it taught them to eat a lot. It's absurd.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. That is a good point. And where do you think the future of gaming, knowing everything you know about now, having played games in the past and seen how far they've come, where do you think that they're gonna go in the future? You see a lot of talk about, virtual reality and games that are gonna maybe even include haptic feedback. Do you think this is practical? Will people play these things?
So, in my opinion, I think the future of gaming still rests on a mouse and a keyboard. Because I think VR is a very cool thing. It's a very popular thing. However, it's in the very, very minorative of the total people who play video games. Most people are on a console with controller or on a mouse and a keyboard.
Yeah.
And if you notice the skill levels between, if you set up a match where you had a VR Call of Duty player versus a person who was on mouse and keyboard playing Call of Duty, mouse and keyboard would obliterate him. So I believe that the future rests in PC gaming. I believe VR will be a thing, and I think console will be a thing, but I think the future is really going to take off with PC gaming.
Yeah, no, you bring up a good point. I think as far as competitive gaming, there's no sort of virtual reality competitive play. Maybe way down the line, if they can create some sort of entire room of virtual reality, it'll be like almost an active esport. That's what I think, is if they maybe rent a warehouse and are able to, create something that interacts with an environment where it's kind of half real, half virtual. Maybe they have, like virtual paintball. I think that would be a cool idea,
Yeah.
But yeah, for right now, virtual reality should probably just stick to porn. And,
yeah.
I feel like that's pretty much all you hear people using it for. How many people do you see?
The new Half-Life is one of the most commended video game series of all time because it really gave you a connection between the gameplay and the environment that you really just couldn't find anywhere else at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they released their new game, Half-Life Alyx, on VR only.
Interesting. Now, we're talking about these games getting more lifelike, right? So if they can do something like a virtual paintball, and then it takes another step up, maybe it's virtual warfare, and then it's virtual Grand Theft Auto. Do you think once these games become so lifelike, that could inhibit violence? Once the game is you virtually killing someone, like really physically doing it instead of having a hand on a controller controlling someone in a universe, when it's you really doing it, do you think that could cause violent tendencies?
Personally, no, because I believe a video game at the heart is just a hobby, a way to pass time. And think about it, there's Counter-Strike, which is a game all about killing people, is already if not the most popular VR game. And you're gunning people down.
Mm-hmm.
You're gunning down coalition troops and you're gunning down terrorists, which is you're blowing them up, and you don't see that causing any more violence because at its core it's still just a video game.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's about all the time we have here. I've only rented the studio for 7 minutes because I'm broke as hell. So I appreciate you coming down today, and hopefully everything stays safe in our household. Yep, everything will be good. Dysfunctional Junction, episode 1, signing off.